Underwood. Thin ice!
So I can't knock down a triple here. Woo, okay. Didn't even miss a shot this entire time, so take that. This better be good for the team.
Oh,
I thought for sure.
there it is. Boom! Yes!
There we go. Illini Basketball Podcast, episode 254, February 21st, 2025. Once again with the R. It's in front of the U.
Got to make sure you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, it's a pretty bad look. Otherwise, I mean, we're being forced to talk about this team. So, yeah, I mean, you know, this is kind of a game where people would be like, oh, you guys should do a podcast right after because everyone's going to be mad. But, like, is there any really real reason to be mad about losing to Wisconsin by 21? I mean, I guess a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way that it happened, I mean, I don't know. Letting Crowell get 20 points and go 3 for 3 from 3 and
it was bound to happen at some point. I mean, 16% from 3 in 6 career games against Illinois. Pretty on brand that this is the season where he would do that because Illinois cannot guard the pick and pop, especially when the guy who's supposed to pop out on it or communicate has an ankle injury and is sick.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Tommy was sick. Jake Davis ended up getting sick after he started the game. So 11th new starting lineup for the Illini this game.
It's an impressive number.
Went with Hummer, Jake Davis, sick, KJ, Trey White after being benched for 2 games, and Boswell. So
do you think that's the most starting lineups they've used in the Underwood era in a season?
it's got to be close if it's not. Has to be.
To have 11 different ones is, I would say, almost impossible in some ways.
Yeah.
And this was the worst one, I think, of any of them.
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. I don't know why Will Riley wouldn't start in this game. I mean, when you haven't played Trey White at all, and Jake Davis, Brad knew he was sick before the game. Jake did come out, hit a 3 to start the game off, so good for him. But he played 8 minutes.
Knocked down 2 threes.
Yeah, played.
Took a bad one. Yeah, he played 8 minutes, 2 for 4 from 3. I think he took one where Brad was like, "What the hell?" But 2 of 4. So I just wonder, like, how are we still? I think we should be done clinging on to the Will Riley has to come off the bench thing at this point. I think that's got to be done.
I would agree, unless it's something that like he wants that bad. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to play a guy 30 minutes and he's coming off the bench every time. I don't know if Brad has it in his mind that, you know, he can come in and get the team going or something. But to have Trey White start this game, played 24 minutes, went 1 for 4, 0 for 1 from 3. I thought he took more than 1 3, but I don't even think it got over the rim. He did have 5 rebounds. But I didn't think Trey White was very good in this game. So it is what it is.
I think we kind of learned about what the unplayable version of Trey White looks like.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to create offense and kind of, you know.
And he did it like, I think he took the first 2 shots, or Jake Davis took the first one, and then Trey White tried to take the next 2. He tried backing somebody down. And then I thought he took a corner 3. I could have swore he took more than 1 3 in this game, but that's what ESPN's telling me. So not good.
He just takes bad shots. I think he has to play right now based on the situation, especially if Jake Davis is still sick tomorrow.
Right.
But it is. I mean, I understand that people are like, this team is not even going to make the tournament. Well, they are, but this is the lowest they could possibly be.
It's skidding the wrong way. I think most guys have them at 8 right now for the tournament. So they could skid down to a 10.
I don't think they go further than that. You just the bubble is weak. They have 7 Q1s. It's
well, not anymore. They got 6 Q1s.
Q1s, that's fine, but they're gonna get one tomorrow, and they got 2 other opportunities after that. So
yeah. Hummer
which one dropped?
Ohio State last night and smoked by a shitty Northwestern team.
That's all right. Ohio State's at UCLA Sunday. They could get one there.
Yeah, I guess the good news there is one of those will stay a quad 1 if whoever wins that game, right? Because UCLA is right on the bubble there too.
I can't believe UCLA losing that game to Minnesota was awful.
Yeah. I don't know. It traveled, right? Where was that at home? That was at home, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was after the Illinois. It was the game after the Illinois game Tuesday.
Okay.
They were up the whole time.
Yeah. Tough loss.
Imagine losing to Minnesota. Couldn't be the Illini. One team they'd taken care of in the last 2 months.
Yep. Hummer went 3 of 6 from 3, 13 points for him. Back down game wasn't great. Defense wasn't great, but at least he was shooting the ball well. I don't know what else to say, but again, nobody was really good this game. KJ probably the worst game of the year. 7 turnovers. I believe Brad said yesterday that 3 of them were egregious foul no calls. So
fair, that seems right. My biggest problem with KJ in this game, and I understand. Actually, before we address KJ, let's talk Hummer real quick.
Trying to skim over him, so you didn't.
Right. I know people really like to complain about him. I don't think there's anything to complain about from this game for the most part. I mean, defensively, I understand, not great. Not a great matchup for him, which most aren't, I guess, at this point. It's just the length of Wisconsin. If you're asking him to play the 5 at any point, I think that's a losing battle, especially at the defensive end. And, he's just not an elite scorer like Damask was inside the 3-point line. He's just not that. Like, he can do it occasionally, but he's not going to, he's not going to make 10 twos in a game. Like, that's not going to happen.
And he can't. I don't think he's a guy where and Brad loves to do it. It's like, this guy's getting us one this time down the court. And I don't think that Hummer is that. I think if the game gets into it and, the motion and him getting switched on to somebody smaller, that he can do it. But he's just not strong enough around the hoop. He had that one head fake, and then I think 3 people blocked him on one play. So, he's definitely not a Damask-esque type guy around the hoop like that. So
I'd like to see what he is in catch and shoot threes, because I feel like he's pretty good at those. But that's just my and some of those 3. I mean, I think those are kind of the same. It's like you're shooting on this possession because he shoots with guys in his face all the time too. And I did write down that 2 of his 3s were halfway down, and I'm counting those. Right. If those halfway down 3s have gone in this year, he'd be shooting like 43% from 3.
Yeah.
He's shooting 34.6, which has to be like number 1 on the team or a little bit behind. Yeah, he's officially the number 1 on the team in 3-point percent. No, sorry, Jake Davis. Jake Davis has taken over 35.7.
Nice.
Things are tough. KJ in this game, I don't understand why when he doesn't play well, we instantly go to the lottery thing where, folks, he went into that game, SI's mock draft had him going number 4.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys
NBA guys don't care about a 7 turnover game.
If they
it's
cared
what he
about
can become.
If they cared that much about collegiate season stats, then Terrence Shannon would have been a top 15 to 18 pick last year.
And KJ had these games over the summer. Like we talked about, there was a game, I think he had like 8 to 9 turnovers. I mean,
he's an 18-year-old point guard playing against playing a type of basketball that I don't think that the way that players play here is all that similar to maybe some of the stuff he was seeing in Europe. That's not really the biggest part of it, though. I think he's an 18-year-old point guard playing in a system that he's never played in before except for this season, and teams are starting to figure out better ways to guard him, and he needs to adjust to that. My biggest problem with him in this game is he needs to shoot the ball more. Like, we're back to the early season stuff where he took 3 shots in this game. He made 2 twos, missed a 3. I don't understand why he doesn't try to. And I understand that, like, 14 shots against Minnesota, 14 against UCLA, 15 against Michigan State, but then he comes out in this game and 3 shots. I don't get it at all.
Right. Yeah. Especially when you got Boswell just chucking up threes like he's a 50% shooter. So I do see, like, there are problems with it when he does dribble. I mean, the ball's kind of too out there, and that's where most of his turnovers come from, is guys reaching in. Like Brad said, he believes that he's fouled on most of those, but it's not usually the on-ball defender. It's the guys helping when he tries to get downhill or something. And then 2 of these, one was he thought Hummer was cutting to the basket and Hummer popped back out, threw it away. And I think the other one was a Tommy cut, maybe. But just bad reads on passes. So again, it's he has these games, but yeah, he's got to shoot more. He's got to create a shot more. I won't be mad if he goes 1 for 5 from 3 rather than Boswell going 1 for 5. So
I honestly can't believe how bad of a shooter Boswell has been this year.
Oh man. And it's those quick ones too. It's just like, all right, got to get my shot up this time. And there's nobody down there to rebound. Illinois got dominated on the boards this game and ended up they were -9, but it seemed like it was way worse than that.
Boswell has taken 27 more threes this season than he took his freshman year, and he's made 6 fewer.
Yeah.
23% from 3. That's 15% down from last year, where he shot 38%. And he shot 39 his freshman year. It's hard to believe. And for KJ, I love that every single time he has a bad game or struggles with the ball, the Illini fan go-to is, either he needs another year or he's not alive. I was just a lottery pick.
Yeah.
I want people to shut up because it really bothers. It does bother me. It bothers me.
I know. It probably bothers you more than anybody in the country. So
yeah, it's bullshit. I don't understand why that's like their go-to. Like, oh, he's turning the ball over. Jeez. Yeah. He's a good player. I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
I'll go out on a limb and say he's a good player. I'll go out on a limb and say he's the team's best player. How about that?
Okay. You won't get any argument from me there. So
good.
And like, I know it's easy to get mad at this team and be pissed off and whatever. But it like a continuity factor plays into this. Like Tommy, I think Brad said he's practiced once in the last month. They got this sickness going around, but there's still things that Brad does that seems inexcusable, like DGL playing 3 minutes at Michigan State. Starting Trey White this game seemed crazy to me.
The continuity thing is especially important when you have, number 1, young guys, number 2, guys who haven't played together before, and number 3, guys who haven't played in this system for more than a year. And Hinkle is right about that. It is the boomers.
Ethan's on Facebook too much.
KJ, how is he a lottery pick? He's not even a first-round pick. How does that happen? Just shut up.
Yeah. Sorry, I got to send a text message.
Have people not seen the games where he puts up like 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists and stuff like that? Or like early in the season when he was making big threes in clutch spots when they needed him against, like, I'll give you 2 examples right now. Arkansas, he made big shots down the stretch. Northwestern, he made big shots down the stretch. I think part of the problem is that the other guards on this team that are on the court with him are not playing very well either. Like Boswell has not been playing very well on the offensive side for a lot of the season.
Right.
I wouldn't be opposed to seeing more of like DGL, KJ lineups.
Yeah.
I don't think that would hurt either one of them.
Yeah. I like, there has to be a point where like you reprimand Boswell for taking some of those shots. And I did notice like Kerry Booth put up a shot that was awful. Brad sat him immediately. I think that he did sit Boswell after he took one of them, if I remember right. But yeah, there has to be some sort of limitations on what you're doing offensively. Underwood said, quote, "At the end of the day, we don't have very many healthy bodies. Tommy drove up by himself because he wanted to try to play. And Jake Davis got sick right after pregame, but he wanted to start. That's why we didn't shake hands after the game. They don't need this. In 38 years, I have never seen anything like what's going through our team. From Trey to Will, now Tommy. Tommy has literally practiced once in a month. So I believe Tommy was back to full-time practicing yesterday. So hopefully that will help. We'll see. Brad also got asked about slowing down Tanjay. And Brad after these losses kind of gets upset when people ask stupid questions. So he said, what do you want me to do? What would you do? You seem to want to ask the question. I thought the only thing we try to do is not foul him. Sometimes you can do everything right. He's a pro. He is 24 years old, a 6-year guy. We had some of those last year. It's nice to have those. Give him credit. He's a good player, a really good player. He is going to make a lot of money. Brad then continued to lean in to Illinois' young and Wisconsin's old, and how it was nice to be able to coach that last year. So, I don't
know how he hasn't said that more before. I mean, it's pretty noticeable, the difference between last year and this year, and that's why I get that this team is really talented, but I wonder if instead of going out and getting Kerry Booth, you maybe try to get an older Quincy Guerrier type. I don't know. I mean, there were struggles last year for some of those guys. Like Quincy hit a wall at one point. Justin Harmon had struggles. But yeah, I think the two biggest differences between last year and this year is that, well, I guess 3 is, number one, there's a continuity thing where like Coleman Hawkins was in year 4 here. Shannon was in year 2. Goody was in year 3 or year 3 for him. Yeah. You had those guys there. Dane Danjo had been in the system for a while. He's not, a terrible player, but Ty Rogers had been there.
Like there's so much. What if we had Dane and Coleman's back and all this, and it's like, holy cow! Like
I think we learned the week of the fan base when you have a season like this, though. Like 2 years ago, I think we learned that too. Like the people who instantly try to the things they talk about, it's like in a different world. Like it doesn't make any sense.
And I want to say it's kind of a cop out by Brad though too. I know that they don't have any 6-year guys, but they have 3rd-year Kylan Boswell, even though he's young. They have 3rd-year Trey White a junior, correct?
Yeah, not a winner though. I mean, he played Louisville and USC.
And then Hummerkaus is 4-year, 5-year.
He's 4-year, but 2-year D1.
Yeah. So
D1 experience, it is not good.
I mean, Patino said something like, you can't replace guys that like what they have. He goes, you can't replace guys from high school with those guys. So I don't know. I think Patino will always go to the portal. So what if we had Sincere? Oh yeah. Sincere, Hansberry. I've seen like, everybody's like, let's bring these guys back. I don't know if that team's any better.
These are the same people who probably loved when they got Kylan Boswell.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Loved. I mean, you just look at like the offseason, there's plenty of stuff to question with it. But I don't regret for a second the concept of them going to get European guys and going to – the Kerry Booth thing I get. Like that doesn't look good. And the Imani Hansberry thing is Illinois certainly would have wanted him back.
Oh yeah.
Certainly. I mean, he played pretty well last year, and he was like, he might have, what was he, like one of their leading scorers against UConn in that game in the Elite Eight? I mean, he had 8 points. So he was tied for second with Shannon and the team in scoring in that game. Pretty bad that Shannon had 8 points in his final game at Illinois. That sucks. But, yeah, I mean, Hansberry, they would have wanted him back. It's just one of those things where Chester Frazier goes to West Virginia. Those guys go with him. And to replace him, I think Hansberry's actual replacement is more like Merez Johnson type. But I guess I could understand why people would be like, oh, they got Kerry Booth to replace Hansberry. I'd like to know what the staff thought they were going to get this year from Kerry Booth, because I don't think they've gotten what they wanted, I would assume.
Can't even be close.
I feel like the freshman big man, whose name I definitely totally am not forgetting right now, who is redshirting and from Yorkville or wherever.
Jack Stees.
Yeah, if he was playing, he'd probably be better than Kerry Booth right now. If I had to throw out a wild guess. I don't know if he can shoot the three, but he looks like he can. Do you think Derek Queen would be the number one overall pick if he were white and European, like Willard said?
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, what a stupid thing to say. We'll talk about that more later, but it was a moron.
Yeah. Tanjay ended with 31 points, 9 for 15 shooting, 3 for 5 from 3. Had a hand in his face for almost all of them. 10 for 12 from the line. And then Crowell, 20 points, 7 for 10, 3 for 3 from 3. He's only 34% this year, but he did shoot at 45% last year. I don't know how many he took, but
this guy who Illinois wanted when he was leaving Colorado State 2 years ago. Could have had him alongside Matthew Meyer and Terrence Shannon. Woo! Watch out. And Pete Nance.
Our Pog, DGL. DGL was the bright spot in this game, I believe. 7 for 12, 3 for 7 from 3. 4 rebounds, 5 assists for him, a block, 17 points. Really good game by DGL. Again, you question why he only played 3 minutes against Michigan State. I don't know if it was sickness, hangover or what, but it's kind of crazy that he didn't play more. Do we get DGL in the starting lineup tomorrow?
There was a game that Boswell didn't start, right?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, the Ohio State game. Yeah, let's do that again.
Okay. All right. Brad said it was great to have Trey back out there, and I thought Draven was outstanding tonight. He is a guy that can go get one on almost anybody. It was nice to see his 3-ball go in because that is one thing that hasn't been happening. We got to do a better job of finding him when he is doing that. Well, he's got to be on the court, Brad.
Yep.
Will Riley played 30 minutes, was 4 for 9, 1 for 2 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Again, Riley's playing starter minutes off the bench for some reason instead of starting him. So Visich did try to give it a go, even though he was sick. It was very visible that he was struggling most of the game. But he played 21 minutes. He went 0 for 4 from 3. I think that was kind of the biggest part that you could see it was just it didn't look like he had the legs to do anything. Had 7 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, and a block. And then Corey Booth played 6 minutes, took 1 terrible shot, and had 2 rebounds.
It's Kerry Booth.
I know, but he's forever Corey now.
He's great.
Brad was asked about the defense, and he said that he still thinks that the perimeter guys are really good defensively. Said that there's no disconnect on defense, but Wisconsin's just really good. And Illinois had to go small this game. So that was the excuse behind the defense giving up 95 points this game. And then he took a few minutes, and I'm going to talk about this. You probably don't give a shit, but I'm going to talk about it. He said, quote, control the uncontrollables. I'm going to take a minute. He went on to talk about Terrence Shannon. The banner got hung upside down. He said, quote, I can't imagine what that's like for him. We messed it up. He talked about how good he's been, the last 18 months and the hell that he's been through. He said, quote, his moment, and then to turn it around and give it all to charity. He came out with a shirt. TSJ came out with a shirt. You can go buy the shirt on Game Day Spirits. I bought 2. It's all going to the Boys and Girls Club, Don Meyer Boys and Girls Club. So go out, buy the shirt. Props to Terrence for, doing that. And then he said, I'm trying to say is we are going to survive. We are going to be fine. We are a really good basketball team. We've proved that. You have seen us play a lot. Terrible for Merez. I didn't know who I was starting today. We will be fine. And 18-year-olds got to grow up, and we are facing some adversity. David versus Goliath in the next one. So this went from it was supposed to be a powerhouse game to now we're calling it David versus Goliath, which is interesting. He was asked about the illness going around the team, and he said, quote, "We obviously are not washing our hands enough. We obviously have to do a better job in our building. We are 3 weeks into this now, and we can't stop it. Maybe it's their apartments. Maybe we need to put them in hotels. I don't have the answers." He said that it was a different thing than what they went through earlier. Tomislav has lost 7 pounds. He had to take 2.5 IVs before coming up to the game. And again, that's why they didn't shake hands. I think it's interesting that you send your sick guys out there to sweat and breathe and all over guys, but you can't shake hands. So, and then no timetable on Merez. They are doing some bone stem stuff, so maybe that'll get him back earlier. I immediately Google search how long it takes to recover. 8 weeks. So I don't know if Merez gets back, but
I don't have any problem with the handshake thing because, you don't have to do it.
just put them all in masks again.
I don't think the handshake thing matters at all.
No, I don't care that they didn't shake hands. I know that people tried to make it a big deal. I was just trying to explain
Because people
why
are
they
stupid.
didn't shake hands.
Yeah.
People are stupid.
It's too hard for Brad to understand the bone stem stuff.
Way too effing hard.
Way too fucking hard for
Thank
Brad
you.
to understand. Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys came into the spaces the other night that Ethan did, but who the hell was that guy? So professional.
Button up professional.
Holy cow. Like
I can start doing that here.
New company, so you had to be like professional. Were you wearing a tie when you did that?
No, but I kept taking my glasses off while I was making points.
I thought you had some good points in that. So
Yeah, then
good for you. It's rather than just an F-bomb every 3 words like on this thing.
Well, I let it devolve into SEC Big West stuff, and it was a whole big thing. But yeah, I mean, that's some good stuff for Monday's show. Which Monday's show, I'm pretty buttoned up, professional.
Philip says if we make the Sweet 16, Merez could be back. Highly unlikely before that.
This team's not making the Sweet 16. I hate to say it, but
Damn.
yeah, tomorrow night, Illinois going to New York City. Probably gonna get more sick because New York City is probably pretty filthy. 17-10 they are now, 9-8 in the Big Ten. Playing the number 3 team in the country, Duke, who's 23-3, 15-1 in the ACC. This game's tomorrow night, 7:00 on Fox. We'll be live 6:50-ish. Before that, this is why I think DGL doesn't start in this game, and it's because of Duke's size.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if Boswell starts. He probably does, but it wouldn't stun me if he didn't.
You think Will Riley gets the start over?
I think he should. I think you start him, then you got to make a decision. Like, do I want Trey White to start? Do I want Jake Davis to start? Is he healthy?
It doesn't sound like Jake's healthy right now. So
Duke's lineup is 6'6" Tyrese Proctor, 6'6" Sion James, 6'7". What's his last name?
Knipple.
Knipple.
Knipple, I think.
Flag is 6'9", and then Malak is 7'2". And then off the bench they go 6'6", 6'6", 6'11", 6'9". They have Caleb Foster 6'5", and freshman Darren Harris 6'6". So number 1 in the country in average height, almost 80 inches average height, 79.8. It's pretty good.
What is it in
that's the average height?
Kilometers or centimeters or whatever? Can you tell me that?
I don't know why I have to, but yeah.
Breaking news: Dusty May has signed a contract extension.
Look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of the dock.
Oh, not breaking news. It's at the bottom of the dock. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Did he
reported
just
that
sign
hours
it?
ago.
Oh,
202.6 centimeters average for Duke.
thank you. I thought I heard Brad accidentally mention KJ's earlier injury was a cracked bone in his wrist. I did not hear that, but I believe you. Who guards Flag?
Hummerkaus. Anyway, I think they have the most talented roster in the country at the top. Like, they got Flag. He's the number 1 pick, no doubt about it. And he's not from Europe. He's from Maine. I don't know if he's from Dexter or Madawaska or, Saco, Maine, potentially, or Augusta.
You know a lot about Maine. How about Newport? You know that
Newport.
Maine?
Yeah, Newport. Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, Madawaska's like
You
basically
spent a lot of
Canada,
time in
so.
Maine, or
No, I just know some Northeast geographical stuff.
okay.
Yeah. And they got, two potential lottery picks. Malauk, the big fella, and then Khan, the 3-point shooter. Probably some sort of con artist. Probably a cheap shot artist as well, since he's a white guy playing for Duke. But both of those guys, they got 3 guys who are first-round guys. We'll talk about Proctor in a little bit. He's a former, highly touted guy. The ACC is certainly a weak conference. There's no denying that at all. Really, it's a 3-bid league. Duke, Clemson, Louisville, that's it. North Carolina is terrible. Duke is not a reflection of that conference. So this is a very, very good basketball team. They beat Auburn in the non-conference. They beat Arizona in the non-conference. They won at Arizona, held them to 55 points. Their losses are Kentucky by 5 and a Kansas team that was playing a little bit better back then by 3. Kansas is so bad, and I don't understand how anybody could have them anywhere near the top 25. I don't understand how their metrics still tell me that they're a top 25 team. This is – you don't go on the road to Utah and lose by 7 and then just get the doors blown off of you by BYU and tell me that Kansas is a good team. They are not. Anyway, Duke is good. I'm not afraid to say it. I'll say it. They shoot 38% from 3. They shoot near 58% from 2, which is 11th. They are 24th in the country in free throw percentage. They're the most efficient field goal percentage team in the country when it comes to on the offensive end and what they're forcing their opponents to shoot. They're number 1. They're 4th on offense, 5th on defense. I think there's a team that's better in those 2 areas than that. Ken Palm's got them as the number 1 team in the country. They're 2nd in offensive efficiency, 4th in defensive efficiency. Teams do not score on the interior against them. Teams are shooting 42.3% from 2 against Duke. And it's probably because they have a ton of size. Because Illinois shoots 57% from 2, which is 19th in the country. If they shoot what Duke is holding teams to, which is 42%, Illinois is going to lose by 100. And that would maybe be a bit concerning. But I don't think I can say much more about this Duke team because they're good. I guess I can say that they're coming off of a win over Virginia. They won by 18 at Virginia. Flag had 17, 14, and 2. They don't turn the ball over very much, 6 turnovers in the last game. Offensively, they are 29th in the country in turnover percentage. They're good on the glass. Everything about this Duke team tells me that Illinois has 0 chance, but I'm not going to hold that to, I'm not going to hold myself to that.
It's Brad in Madison Square Garden.
Right? Yeah, this is basically an unwinnable game for Duke, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, players to watch.
I am going with Tomislav Ivisic. Never going to say it right until the year's over. Like I said, he's fully back to practicing yesterday for the first time. I hope that helps, the team, get together and do better. He's got to shoot threes a little bit better. He was really good for 2 games. Then he wasn't great the next 2, I think. So if he can get a shot going, that pick and pop, open up the court a little bit, I think that's going to be the only way Illinois has a chance in this game. And then I'm going with Cooper Flagg because, it's Cooper Flagg. He's leading Duke in every statistical category there is. 19.7 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, 1.5 steals per game, and 1.2 blocks per game. They got a lot of talent around Cooper too, which helps them, but try to find a way to stop him. He's probably going to put up 43 in this game on Hummer, but I will be rocking my Hummer hoodie for the game, so
that'll stop him. I'm going with Kasparis for the Illini. Wonder how Duke's length in the perimeter is going to affect him. He needs to shoot the ball more, though. I don't think there's any doubting that. Yeah. I'm going Tyrese Proctor, the guard for Duke, former top-level overseas prospect, shoots at 41% from 3, had 23 points in a recent game against Stanford. So he's a talented player as well. Predictions?
I just hope Illinois keeps it within 10. I don't see that happening, though. I got Illinois losing this game by 12. 74-86 Dukies.
I think Illinois goes in and gets it done. This is a team. If we learn anything from this team, they're a team that gets it done. They get things done, and they'll do it efficiently. And Illinois wins 83-82. I mean, look, I feel like I had to stick to this one.
Yeah, you've been saying it since the summer, so.
Yeah, you got to stick to it. And, there's no shame in losing this game. It would be a gigantic win for Illinois. It would certainly lock them into the tournament, but I think they already kind of are locked in. But this would really, really do them some wonders when it comes to seeding. Yeah, like I said, everything on paper lines up for Illinois to get blown out. But, hey, it's just paper. It's not the game.
Why not us, huh? Why not us?
Yeah, I mean, just like when the United States played Russia in 1980 in the Olympics, it was like, hey, we play these guys 10 times, they're going to beat us 9 times. We beat them the one time, and that's this game. And I think that's what happens. Because Illinois, people are going to start to forget that this is a good basketball team. Yeah.
The listeners are very happy with your prediction.
Good.
So.
And I won't have shut up, Hinkle. I didn't play anything, so we're fine. And when I did that last time, it probably resulted in a win, didn't it? No, it was Tennessee, wasn't it? Damn it. Yeah, I mean, Illinois, they can score points.
Yeah, Wally said Illinois 100, Duke 3.
Maybe that happens. Who's to say? I won't have a hockey game to distract me tomorrow night. I'll be fully focused.
That's true. Sure, you'll be in it to win it.
That'd be good. So yeah, I mean, you hate the team, and I think they're going to win. So there you go. All right, let's go around.
Have we picked them to lose a game yet?
I picked them to lose to Minnesota.
Oh, okay. All right.
Good pick that was. Around the Big Ten, Michigan State going head-to-head tonight at 7 on Fox in about an hour and 20 minutes from right this moment. I spoke to a Michigan source about this game last night in a bar.
Now I know you're lying, but
no, I was working a party, but a Michigan source who plays in the Winter League with you. I spoke to about this game, and it's one of those things where I think the home court advantage comes into play because these two play each other. I think again in East Lansing in like a week or two.
Yeah.
So I think Michigan beats Michigan State tonight, especially with the big news that Dusty May getting the contract extension. So all eyes are on Chris Beard and Mick Cronin for the Indiana job. And I wonder if Pitino saying what he said about Chris Beard on Pardon My Take.
Yeah.
If Indiana's people see that and they're like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. And they get Chris Beard. Who knows? Maybe they get Pitino. Does Pitino go to Indiana? Terrible fit.
7 turnovers is potentially 14 to 21 points, a lot more than the points he makes. KJ needs to be smarter. Thank you, Robert.
That's like the strongest use of potentially, but in a weak way, because like you think Illinois is going to score like 5 points on those 7 possessions? Probably not.
Look what you've done to people. People think Cronin's going to Indiana now. And
it's a good fit for him.
I mean, Ethan does have insider knowledge on that, so.
I mean, look, I can't say too much, but I think it's a good fit. But yeah, I think Michigan wins tonight. I just think that Michigan State does have that like physicality, size, and the who's going to beat us thing.
How many times does Vlad flop this game?
That'll be a big talking, but that's kind of why I want Michigan State to win this game. But Michigan State in this tough stretch so far, they're 2-0. They beat Illinois in Champaign. They beat Purdue. And at some point, we got to worry about Purdue's weakness on the perimeter. I mean, they're small.
Yeah.
Weak. And TKR is not Zach Edey. He's good, but he's not Zach Edey. He's not like if Zach Edey is not playing on that Purdue team last year in the national championship game, UConn wins by 50. Like the Braden Smith Fletcher Lawyer thing, Smith, Lawyer, and Cox on the perimeter. Like, you can only go so far with that, especially Lawyer and Smith. Those guys combined, their combined weight is like, just not enough. 350 or whatever. That's not enough. 180, Lawyer's listed at 170 for Smith. They're just too small. They're not going to compete. Like, if Purdue plays an SEC team in the tournament, and if it's a good SEC team, they're going to get rolled.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, Purdue's lost 3 straight. They're at Indiana Sunday. That'll be an interesting game. But I think Michigan wins tonight. I don't know if, I don't know if you agree or not.
Yeah, I think Michigan wins at home. I think your insider that roots for a team. I don't know. Are we insiders because we root for a team?
I just said source. I didn't say insider.
Oh, source.
We could be viewed as Illinois sources, certainly. Why not?
How come I didn't get invited to the party?
I don't really understand what they were doing, to be
Oh.
fair. I mean, I did, but also, like, I don't know. It was a couple people from Thursday Men's Night League there. Very exciting.
Huh.
One of which is in our division. Very nice. Anyway, think electric and
Yep, I got
housing stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
All right. So Dusty May gets an extension. He's probably not going to Indiana now, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that
Doesn't
would
seem likely.
really burst in that thought I had, huh?
Yeah, you almost had it. Ohio State has lost 4 of their last 6 after a 3-game win streak in late January. They've won 2 games. They are 2-4 in the month of February. They lost Northwestern in Columbus last night by 21, and I don't understand how this is possible at all. Like, how do you let that happen?
I don't know.
Martinelli had a good game. Tyberry had a fine game. Nicholson played well, and KJ Wyndham, the freshman off the bench, played well. He made their only 2 threes. Northwestern made 2 threes in this game. And the one thing they did is they held Ohio State off the 3-point line. 4 for 21, Ohio State from 3. They weren't that good from 2 either. I guess that's how it happens. They killed them on the glass. So I get why it happened, but like just on the surface, like how do you lose to Northwestern like that?
Right.
25-6 was the score in the first 10 minutes of the second half. So
Gotta score points.
yeah, they had 24 points in the first half and 25 in the second half. It doesn't help Ohio State that their remaining schedule is UCLA, USC, Nebraska, Indiana. Like you prefer to play like Michigan or Purdue or Michigan State or Maryland in that stretch.
Yeah. Something to help your resume.
And they lost their Michigan opportunity in the 16th, at home, losing by 3.
Tough.
Yep, no doubt. And then Kevin Willard coming out and talking about Derek Queen. Like, I don't get it doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. I believe his quote was, if he was European, I can't pull up the
He'd
quote.
be a top 5 pick in the draft.
I thought he said
If he was
number 1.
white, I think they said if he was white and European.
Let me find it. I don't want to, misquote such a big story. If he was European and white, he'd be the first pick in the draft.
Zach said if he's French, he also would be. Robert is watching from the beginning, I think. So
Luka Doncic was not the first overall pick. Nikola Jokic was not the first overall pick. I don't know. Also, Cooper Flagg is white, but he's from Maine. And when was the last white player to be taken number 1 overall? I think it was like 2006 or something. So, okay, Kevin, you got him, I guess, huh? What is it even?
Darko Milicic.
Yeah, and that was 2000. What? 5? 2006?
No clue. Lost me at NBA basketball.
Okay, well, Darko was the number 1 overall pick. I was going to say.
He made that up.
Yeah. It was Andrea Bargnani in 2006. So.
That's impressive. You knew that off the top of your head.
Who?
You. The year, not the guy.
Oh, yeah. 2006. Bogut went 2004, by the way, or 2005. So they had a little run, but yeah, I don't get it at all. Queen's good. He should be a lottery pick, but like he's not like an elite offensive player that would be taken number 1 overall. Like I don't get it.
Right.
He's not gonna like do it like Kevin Durant was doing in college. I don't know.
He was
he was
Australian.
Italian. Bargnani. You think Andrea Bargnani is Australian there, chat guy? Jeez.
Guy. Oh, jeez.
All right, well, I think we've done enough here.
Great
Back
episode.
tomorrow night, it'd be good. Bogut. Oh, yeah, who cares? All right. That'll do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow night for the watch party, Illinois and Duke. We'll see you then. Underwood.
Thin ice!